morning. How is everyone? Let's get ready for our home yoga. And you can see I gotta move some heaters around in my own home yoga so that I've got my space. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice live. It's good to be here, good to see everyone, whether you're here joining us live on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook channel. Feel free to say hello in the comments section. If you have any requests, if you have something that you want to share about your practice or a question, please feel free to drop it in there, and throughout this morning I will be more than happy to try to share. This is a practice online to help us find ways to get on our mat, on our own at home. How do we continue? What is it that we want to work on? So yoga means to create a connection, to integrate our physical being with our mental being and our breath being, so that hopefully throughout our existence we're all together unified, right? How often do we end the day going, I totally wasn't in my body today, or I was only in this position today? And how do we build that into our awareness throughout the day so that we don't end up kind of stuck, so that we're listening to this physical body tell us what it needs, what needs to move, what needs to feel open, what needs to feel closed or twisted, and how does that help our mindset stay balanced as well. All right, I'm going to start today standing. And as I said, please feel free to say hello, let me know that you're here, and any thing that's going on with your practice. I have aggravated something in my shoulder. I feel like it was probably from shoveling too much recently, trying to help my elderly neighbor. So I may be a little modifying, and I'll talk about that in case anybody needs something going on with their own shoulders, or figure out how to modify in your shoulder. But I still want to move in my body and create balance and health and wellness. So I want to feel standing on purpose, checking in on how I'm on my left leg or my right leg more. Eyes open or closed, but again, on purpose. Do I always close my eyes? What is it that I could see? Could I just be aware of light spectrum? Are my eyes tired? Mine are tired. You could open the eyelids wide and shut them tight, kind of amplifying your awareness of the sensory perception in our eyes. I'm going to invite a neck rotation. Since I was just in the eyes, that other area of my body started to say, hey, ooh, me next. And that's literally how some of my body responds now to me practicing. My body gets eager and happy, like, ooh, yay, she's going to give us her undivided attention and change direction. And maybe that's a great way to think about how you're connecting to your yoga as you're creating a practice that you can sustain for yourself. Giving your body your undivided attention. What does that mean? And how do we even grow that relationship? And coming back to center, I want to find some shoulder rotations, and I'll just reiterate that my shoulders are this right shoulder is having a real pinchy kind of twinge when I lift it in a certain way. So I'm checking right now to see, is it getting triggered? And it's actually happy here. I'm going to change direction. And that's fine. I really start to notice it for myself when I'm rotating the upper arm bone inward of that right arm. So I'm going to really heed that, and maybe I'll restrict that movement. And I'm actually going to go ahead and start here. It's in this arm. I'm going to take it across. It's feeling okay there. I'm going to give it a little hug. Drop it down. So what's really fascinating is that these arms and these shoulders have a huge range of movement. So I can still move it. As long as I don't do it in just that way, I'm good to go. Breath in and exhale, revolve. Feel the waist in your legs. Now try not to take any twist or any movement to a choke point. All right, so that you don't feel like you're strangling or straining. Learning to vary the amount of pressure that we put in certain movements is a wonderful way to begin learning how to be in our bodies intentionally with kindness and discipline. And I'm going to release, bring that back, and find the other side. So, now actually when I'm curling up here, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure in that shoulder for myself. So I'm going to take that arm over here now instead of that hook. Breath in and revolve. What are the ribs saying? In between the shoulder blades. Is your body telling you it's enjoying this movement? It needs more of this kind of movement? Is it just unfamiliar with this kind of movement? And release. We have a tremendous range in our bodies. Awesome. All right, I'm going to lengthen the arms up, shoulders down. Now I'm usually really straight here, but that's really hurting my shoulders, that right shoulder, so I'm giving it a little softness. I can still have my hands together without any issue. And that's helping me focus on, could that area of my body grow tall as well? Lift the toes, flare them, not any stress in how I'm holding myself in the world. And a gentle side bend, feeling the side body. I don't know about you, but I don't often find myself having to do this kind of extended movement very often, right? Maybe if I were placing things into the cabinet this way, I could turn sideways to do it, but I don't think about that. That would be a way to bring this kind of movement into our day-to-day more regularly. And other side. We have a huge capacity. And we get to feel, the body's like, oh yeah, hey, I remember this, maybe ancestrally. I remember I used to be able to reach in this manner. Breath in, looking up, stretching out the front of us. And now exhale, letting go, folding in. And sometimes as I'm starting, I love to kind of pedal, bending the knees, feeling the backs of the legs, the attachments from the back of the hamstring up into the hips, the attachments at the backs of the knees, and the attachments at the back of the neck into the shoulders. Can we let our flesh sag and actually feel the weight of us and roll the spine up, and just to feel, not to perform in any way, but just to feel. I actually want to come on down now into the hips. So I'm going to do some hip rotations if you need or would like. Bend the knees. That way we're not putting any undue strain on the ligaments in the knees. And just feel the hips. Feel the range of movement in your hips. To the side, forward, and back. Change direction. How smooth can it be? And feel free also, notice if your mind is having some chatter, right? Is it feeling like, hey, this is weird, or is this yoga, or I don't want to do this, or yummy. Any way that we're connecting intentionally on purpose in our body is a yogic practice. What are we feeling in the muscles in our back, in our pelvis? Maybe try to do a Kegel now and again as you're doing this movement, or a sphincter hold. How aware are we of this zone of our bodies? And then we'll come to center, and breathing in, feeling what it feels like to expand and lift in our entire body. Exhaling, coming forward. How does folding feel? Does it feel like we have to force it? Does it feel like relief? Roll the spine up. And again, how big and expansive? And what does folding into ourselves feel like? Feeling a body doing body things. And I'll bend my knees. I'm just going to wrap my arms behind the knees and pull and resist with the arms. Stamp the feet down, being aware of the effort and the energy of standing on purpose. Breathe and letting go on purpose. I'm going to flare my toes and soften them again. Noticing, am I gripping in how I stand in the world? And now I'm going to bend again. Feel my legs giving me so much support. Wrap those arms and pull. Breath, shoulders back. Can I feel the back of the neck and in between the shoulders? Spend time with them with my undivided attention. Learn different levels of tension and let it go. Do we know the nuance and levels of tension? Rounding the spine, back up. Good. Now I'll just see about a little bit of continual movement and feel what it feels like to get our engine going. So I'm going to breathe in, expand and lift. Just practice lifting. What areas of the body are you aware of that are lifting? Can you activate to lift? And forward fold, feeling. What parts of you can help you let go and fold within? Some of you might bring your hands to the calves or the ankles. Let the head fall. And breathe in and lift the spine halfway. And forward fold. Let's see if we can do that with breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, folding. Bending the knees, wrapping the arms. Pull breath in. Exhale, release, fold. Are you letting the muscles go? Breathe in all the way up and lift. Hands to prayer. I'm going to step my right foot back foot flat. So aim those toes forward and bend the knee, feeling my spine upright. What's lifting and what's lengthening in my hips and groin. And step the right foot up, step the left foot back. Sink in the hips. Keep lifting through the top of the head. Free breath. Try not to tense in the body. Stand in the right leg. Breathing, lifting, practicing lifting, and folding it forward. Half flat back. I'm going to bring my left hand down to the floor. Some of you can see I'm using my fingertips kind of as a raptor claw. And so I'm not all the way back here, all my weight back in the heels here. Trying to distribute the weight evenly so that I'm at as much of a 90-degree angle as I can here. And I'm going to twist the chest open and just bring that right hand to the back, pulling the chest long. Breath in, breath out. I'm going to switch. Got to test in on this shoulder now. Okay, it's all right. I'm going to pull my chest forward. Press the legs down. Are you aware of how your legs are holding you? Ask them, get to know, and revolve the chest. Sometimes we're really focused on elements of a posture that are higher up rather than building the posture and the awareness from the ground up. So feel the rooted parts and ask them, are they ready before we move on? And release, forward fold, rolling that spine up. I'm going to bring my hands to the low back. Hips coming forward, shoulders open, chest up. And really asking and inviting this belly area, the midsection, to be that exposed, that confident, that vulnerable, that open. We can't open and tense at the same time. So can you feel that region and ask it to not tense? Do we know if we're holding tension? And come on forward. Now, as far as a home practice goes, depending on how much time you have, you can already be like, okay, I've done a lot standing. Maybe the feet are getting tired. You might have limited time and be wanting to do some more deeper spaces on the ground when we have more of our body mass on the floor. We might be able to get into some spaces in a much more relaxed manner because we're not standing anymore. So I'm going to bring my hands down and step back. And at the same time, if you want to do more of that, maybe you're checking us out on demand, you could do like a couple more sets or repetitions of that and really build some heat for yourself, focusing and paying attention. So you don't have to do an hour. I'm widening my knees back out so that I can let my belly come down into child's pose. You might want to block or something down here for your head, unless your head can come to the floor. Oh, my shoulder just tugged at it in a really bad way. I'm going to lift my head and lengthen it forward and place it down. And try to keep my forehead there and let my hips sag back. Pulling the vertebrae away from the neck and soften the flesh around the vertebrae. Or at least that's what I'm trying to send my mind to do. Yeah, I'm kind of smashing my nose a little bit. And I'm going to bring my spine back up. I'm going to bring those inner thighs together. I'm going to turn this way so that you can see. Get a block here. If your knees will accept this, and so if you've had knee surgeries or are waiting for them or have had some injuries there, this is not going to be a space for you. This is called Virasana or Hero. Now, my butt's about a 1/2 inch clear off the floor. By the time, a few more practices in through the day, my hips will loosen and will drop. But let's say that's putting too much of a load on your knees. You could always put a block or a support here. You could get it up higher. Just depends on your hips, your knees. And so we've got an inward rotation. The thighs are together and the feet are out. And just start to be aware of what's going on the sides of the thighs and hips. How are you lifting yourself? Can you let your body weight sink here? How are the legs accepting this rotation and to support you with this rotation? Now I'm going to bring my right hand in between the shoulders here. Now I'm just going to start with this and bring the left hand up, finding this elbow. I'm going to use this action to help pull the right hand down the spine. Now I'm being extra careful because this is the complaining shoulder on me today. And it went there, but to hold it, it's really starting to cry a little, so I'm letting it back up. Keeping my neck free, no strain in the spinal column. Making room for a free breath that I don't have to struggle for. And trying to soften all of the flesh in the shoulder sockets and the armpits. Meaning ungrip. And I'm going to release and send those arms out, shoulders down. Press the heels of the palms. Perhaps you're feeling tension under your underarm here on both sides. And then flex the wrists down, pushing the forearms out, extending away from one another. Could you try to pull both shoulder blades away from one another as well? Can you ask your ribs to sit you up tall? Now I'm going to bring the left hand in between the shoulder blades. Now if your legs are getting tired, go ahead and sit down naturally on your butt. And I'm going to bring this right hand up to this elbow, and once again, seeing how far down in between those shoulder blades. Now this left shoulder is not feeling any strain. My chin is level. And breathe. intend the upper body to rise and just feel, how is the body talking to you in this shape? Feeling this open with the arms open, the shoulders open, upright intention. How does the front of the chest feel, the back of the body? Your waist, your groin, are you aware of what's going on in your body? What joints are straining? What body areas are opening and lifting, expanding, or contracting? A lot is going on all at the same time. At your time, when you're ready, we'll lengthen those arms back out, shoulders down, extending. And maybe pull the arms away from the chest, chin level or down. When all else fails here, let the chin lower and pull up through the back of the neck. And feel the back of the neck lifting you. Is it possible? Could it on its own be an area that's responsible for lifting us? And we feel what's possible, what areas of the body get relief because they don't have to do the work. And gently release. And I'm going to come out of those legs. I love adding that kind of perspective in my own personal practice of let my attention go to the areas of the body that are feeling the relief from not having to do the work. When I transfer it to a strange or an unfamiliar area, that way I'm not just focusing on the area that's crying about it. I'm bringing some of my attention into, oh, my waist muscles are really happy to not have to be doing this right now. All right, I'm going to shake these legs out. We were in that hero pose, that virasana for a while, that bent compression. So the calves might have felt a little numb or tingly. Maybe some blood circulation was feeling limited. So I'm just aerating that, making space, inviting more spaciousness on purpose in all directions. So as you see, I'm pointing and flexing. Add the toes too. A lot of times we kind of graze over this kind of movement. Okay, we might kind of go, bup, 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 done, right? But if we think about it, how much intention do we have? How often are we really sitting and lengthening the tops of these feet? They will thank you. Well, they might argue before they thank you. But how far up the calf, on the shins, do you start to feel that action? How much are the calves working to contract to do that action for you? It's not uncommon to actually feel a cramp eventually in some of these because this long, sustained, active movement we don't have a lot of sometimes, especially if we're sitting a lot and we don't walk very much. Good. Now the sustained flex, really driving that heel, those heels forward. And as you're in it, can you also have the spine here? We don't want to give all the legs the attention and be like this in our spine. Saying, oh, hello, I'm going to sit and stand in my own torso. Spread the toes. See how much we can spread them. Can we sustain that, or are they getting tired and they want to break and then spread? That's fine. But we got to learn and know, how long can I hold this kind of action in my feet? Good. And now I'm going to shake it out. Letting the muscles loosen. And there's huge value in this kind of flaccid shaking, because sometimes our muscles don't trust that they can let go. So we think, that's good enough. But we really are still tensing somewhere. So we've got to learn how to tell the muscles that they can let go. They can trust you. They can trust you. I need them to trust me. All right, I'm going to come down here. Trying to feel the vibration into the densest muscles that I have. Good. Now I'm going to lift my waist off of my hips and shoulders down. Pushing the backs of the legs down. Now, I'm personally going to try to ask my back muscles to chill out a little bit. And ask my core muscles, the front muscles, to squeeze and hold me a little bit more. Now, it takes a bit of mental energy to try to say, oh, are my back muscles soft? Are they trusting me that they can be soft? Are my front muscles protesting? And they may be. Use the legs to help out the whole cause. Those legs, those are big muscles. Shoulders get to chill out. And I'm going to hinge and bring it back up. And hinge, seeing if I can kind of keep the spine straight, back muscles soft, belly muscles contracting and coming back up. Maybe one more. If you're tired, if you're done, be done. No strain. And hinge, feel your breath. And bring ourselves back up. I'm going to let the shoulder chill out a little bit. I want to do a Janus or Shasana. So we're going to do a open hip on one side and a lengthened leg on the other side. So we'll be amplifying the stretch along the back of the calf and the thigh or the hamstring while asking the hip joint on this side to open and stretching the inside of this thigh. So we've got to actively press the muscles down here and pushing these muscles here and doing that on purpose. Active, flexing in those toes on purpose, and upper body on purpose. And then we're still trying to, on purpose, have some ease and steadiness. And hinge forward. If you need a pillow here to stack, so if the body doesn't want to go down very far, would like to encourage the upper body to let go, though. Breath in. Breath out. Can you stay squeezing in that lengthened leg? Actively intentional. Pushing the back of the left leg down. Sinking heavy in the hips. Breath soothing and on purpose. Just be with the process of breathing. You're breathing. What's too much? What is possible? How is your breath making you feel? Can that be all that this moment is about? Observing how the breath is making us feel. Letting your breath help you feel some way. What's still gripping in your body? Be forgiving when you notice that something is gripping unnecessarily. Maybe look at it with humor. And round your spine up. Maybe giving some touch along the way. Notice the muscles, like what is releasing any tension. How are you feeling in a sensory way as you came up? Does it feel refreshing or lighter? Did you feel a little woozy or lightheaded? And I'm going to switch. And notice, though, I'm trying to be intentional and kind about how I did it. Okay, I didn't slam the body around. Now I'm aligning this leg with the torso straight out. Sometimes in these floor postures we can get out of alignment. So here's out of alignment. I could say it's good enough, but I'm trying to be in my body on purpose, giving my body my undivided attention. The same attention that I put to, task lists for work, task lists for the kids. The same amount of undivided care and attention that I give to the outside world. I'm bringing it in here, and that's our yoga. You could stay upright here in the massage. Feel out where you are, what you need. Where is your torso? Is it sitting in alignment? Does it want to chill out and open this way? So the muscles of the back don't want to hold us in this direction. And we're not looking at it in any criticism, just what is it accustomed to? What muscles have stopped working? Have I not told that they have to work? What muscles are overworking? Have I become over-reliant upon? That's all. We're just learning the status. Squeezing this leg, asking this hip to open, and allowing your upper body to come forward. And we're feeling and noticing the sensations along the way. Am I in my straight leg on purpose? Meaning, is it actively trying to keep me anchored? Energy thrusting through the heel, trying to lengthen that leg while I rest my weight on it. Can it support that weight? Am I putting too much weight on it? Can I vary that? What's the hip saying? How is my breath sounding? What is my mind saying? And let's gradually come up. When you're ready, maybe you want to hold in there for a bit. Some of the left side of my sacrum was saying, you know what, for now, that's enough. All right, I'm going to bring both feet together. Now, I'm not going to hike it up so much that I'm curving the spine. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see what I mean. So I'm going to bring one leg in, got my spine up, bring the other leg in, and the spine is staying up, not curved. So oftentimes when we're yanking on those feet, we tend to yank them in like this. So if that means you've got to step those feet out a bit and feel the base that can sustain holding your spine as erect as you can. And then I'm using those muscles again on the inner thighs to press open. Seeing what's possible on their own without you doing a manual application, any kind of forcing in the joints. I'm holding my shins and ankles and finding that upward lift. Can I ask the muscles of my neck to lift my neck on their own? Inner thighs pressing down and open. Upward lift through the neck. Ease in the middle. And as you're here, feel your eyelids, your jaw, your tongue. Hear the nature of your breath. Feel the energy of upward intention and downward intention. Vary the amount of pressure. Learn your own nuance. Are you giving it 100%? Could you back off to 80? Could you back off to 60? What joints are happier at 60 or 40? How much space do we feel when we apply a little bit more? Are we getting any more space inside of our bodies for today? Neck rotation while we're here. Feeling the range. Now we did one of these earlier, so feel this difference. What's lifting and lengthening? What just feels soothing? And the soothing is a valid space in our yoga. Fill up your cup with some soothing. I know that I am working on everything not having to be max, max, max. How do I feel and invite a sense of enough and contentment? And let my body trust that, right? Because I've kind of faked it out and said, oh yeah, we're going to do enough. And then I push it to its max. I'm also trying not to like psychoanalyze that. Yeah, I could come up with all of the reasons of how those patterns got built in my body, and that still isn't letting me stay in the present. So I'm just going to stay here and say, being aware of my senses, being aware of the rotation, trying to back off of how much pressure I'm using because it still creeps up, and then gradually change direction. Feel the upward lift somewhere. Invite that upward aspiration, a subtle upward aspiration. There is no there, only here. This could be good enough. You could do this in the middle of your day, and that be your intentional home yoga practice where you spent time, deliberate attention within yourself, and back to center. Let's do another breath. Ungrip with the hands even. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale. Let that upper body come forward. Now you could put a pillow or stack of pillows right here and rest. I think I'm actually going to do that myself. Because as I said, getting the body to trust that I mean what I say. Sometimes getting the prop is a great way for your body to go, oh, she really means that. Yes, I really do mean that. So I've got the feet together. I'm going to put this pillow here, and I'm going to let my body fall. Actually, I think I need this here. There we go. My head can rest. My arms falling away from the body unsupported. Oh, a lot of space for a free breath. And just feeling the body not having to hold itself up and breathe. Don't force the breath either. That goes a long way to developing trust with your body. Can you release the weight of your head? Release the weight of the shoulders. Now I'm starting to feel like my spine is rounding or curving. And for me, energetically, it doesn't feel like a clear line of energy being able to flow in my body, kind of like a garden hose. I don't want a kink in that hose. So I'm going to lift the pillow, pull it forward an inch or so, and then just keep my head resting on it. And definitely my spinal column garden hose felt like it straightened a bit here. Now I am feeling a little bit more weight and tension in the hip joints. It's not uncomfortable and it's not at its max. It's not screaming. So I'm just going to let that be. And see if I can just allow the body weight to trust it can let go. Noticing my thoughts, especially when it comes to the area that's talking the most. Remember that nice little mental space of, oh, can I bring my attention on the areas that are happy to be alleviated of pressure? Not just have all of the attention on the area that's feeling pressure. We have a whole body, not just one zone. And we said we were coming into our yoga to be connected, so give your whole body your undivided attention and appreciation. Oh, I'm going to roll that spine up. Feel the releasing. Feel your eyes. So maybe have the eyes closed and then gradually open them. Spine intending to be upright. All right, I'm going to bring my pillow now behind me. So maybe you can roll up a blanket if you don't have a big dense pillow like this. Get something with some density. Also, if you have an extra yoga mat, you can roll that up as a column and have that up against your back. It's a nice form of support. I'm going to keep my back, have this flush up against my back, and lay the chest down. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and ask my thighs to just fall open and fall away. And feel this chest and belly area unguarded and exposed. Now that garden hose of the spine, perhaps lift the head very subtly and lengthen the neck away from you. Pull it away like a turtle pulling its head out of its shell, and then place it down. And just let yourself sink into the length. And then fully just soak in on what are you feeling, what is going on. Notice when the mind is trying to figure out the why, and just stay with the what. Meeting yourself where you are. Can you let your body weight sink in the head, in between the shoulders? Now perhaps reach one arm overhead and feel that lengthening. Letting space happen. And maybe lift the other arm. I lifted the right last. Okay, it's kind of accepting this shape. Feel the breath wrapping around your entire rib cage. Don't just focus on the front of the rib cage. Feel the sides and the whole circular wrap around the ribs. Your lowest ribs, your highest ribs, your center ribs, all of your ribs. The whole circumference. We'll walk the feet in, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. Ooh, what changed? In the gravitational pull on some regions? In your fleshy expansion in some regions? In your mind? And you could rest right here and call this good. This is a wonderful place to end with the chest opening, a gentle back bend, a gentle hip opener, and maybe not so gentle in your experience. We're all experiencing this differently. We have different fight areas, different tension areas, different yum. Remember to give your attention in a balanced way across the body. Letting your body experience what it wants, what it needs, and what's possible. Straighten the legs back out. Slowly, gradually, lowering the arms back down. Using the arms alongside the waist to gently pull the chest up. No strain, so go as soft as you can. I'm going to turn this structure, whatever you have, whether it's another yoga mat, or a stack of folded blankets, crossways. I'm going to walk the feet in a bit. I'm just going to lift my butt up onto the pillow and lay my chest down until the backs of both shoulder blades are on the floor. So we've got a raised hip, supported hip space. Now it might be a bit much to have the legs straight to start, so you could have your knees bent in a supported bridge. You can start this process really low, so maybe you're only raised about 2 or 3 inches off the floor, giving your hips and your back time to adjust, time to trust. Let the upper back and chest really just rest. And feel this subtle inversion. Our head is just our heart is slightly raised. Allow the belly to be expansive with the breath, not restricted. Maybe we're noticing how much we tighten in the tummy and belly, restricting the free flow of our breath. And then don't stay in that space, just come back to feeling the freedom of the breath. Are you letting the back side of the back accept the support and the sinking, or is it tightening? Now, if you feel comfortable doing so, you could straighten one leg and notice where you're feeling tension and stretching. Perhaps it can start as high up as into the belly and the side. Some feel it just across the hip bone or the top of the thigh. Some feel it up and down the whole body. Now, if the low back is pinching or any sort of discomfort, just go ahead and bring the leg back in. You could alternate and just play with straightening one leg at a time, feeling if the body is accepting this shape. Giving your attention to the areas that feel at ease and relieved, open and soothed, and the areas that are confused or fighting. Send love to all of it. If you're feeling all right with it, you could straighten both legs and let the legs go limp. Seeing if the back of the hips and the front of the hips are accepting lengthening or are they tightening. So if you're feeling some tension, is it because you're tightening or is it because you're lengthening? Do you know? This is a wonderful practice before going to bed. It's a wonderful practice to start the day as you're getting out of bed. Maybe don't hold very deep if we're just starting the day off. Inquiring, is the discomfort or the tension I'm feeling because I'm letting go and it doesn't have support? Or is it because I'm tightening and I'm not letting go? I'm going to gradually just slide the feet in. Take your time. You don't have to move right now, so feel the hips, accept the change. I'm going to push down, lifting the hips just enough to be able to slide the pillow out from under and lower the hips down. And I'm just going to let the knees drop left and right. Drawing one knee in toward the chest, knee toward your midline. Notice if it's wanting to fall out wide. Hi, baby. This is Karma. Hi, baby. You gonna give me a kiss? Okay, out. And we'll lift the other knee toward the midline, pressing our spine to the floor, feeling contained. Lying down on our backs, looking up, being supported across the entire back of our body. Literally, our mat has got our back. And I'm going to straighten those legs and let the legs fall empty. If you'd like to put a support under the knees, that can be a little more relaxing on the back. So feel that out. Are you feeling any discomfort in your back, and do you need to give it support? And if so, go ahead and give it some support. If lying on the back is absolutely uncomfortable, you could curl up on your side or lie on your belly. Let your breath fall into its own natural rhythm, where you're not forcing it, but you are breathing it. Feel your lungs as entities, and practice feeling their capacity. Feel those lungs inside of the rib cage, expanding, becoming more and more voluminous inside of the cage. And if you've stopped, test it. Could you breathe in more? Is there more room? Is there more room? And let it release. And when it finds its natural stop, see if you can press lightly a little bit more out, like toothpaste in a toothpaste roll, without strain. And let's repeat that, inquiring about capacity of the inhale. Let those lungs air themselves out, literally airing themselves out. How light and filled can we feel? Effortlessly. And then release. Let the lungs do what lungs want to do, what they were built to do. They were also meant to compress. Are there muscles in the body that are tensing on any side of the max of your inhale or your exhale, and do they need to? Observing how your body responds to an intensity of experience in your breath. How is your body feeling after a few breaths this way? Is it starting to trust, to allow this capacity? Hi, Mose. And we'll start to ask the fingers and toes to move, responding to the brain, responding to our mind, our thoughts. Maybe stretching, inviting expansion and spaciousness on a physical level. And eventually rolling to one side, finding a fetal position, coming within on a physical level. Cradled, protected, within. No hurry, coming upright. And find a comfortable way of sitting with your legs. I'm kind of in a bit of a mishmash between a Sukhasana, and so Sukhasana would be shin in front of shin, hips open, knees open, and a half lotus. So that was me kind of mishmashing in between. And I'm about to hold myself accountable because I always have my right leg on top. So I'm going to put, mostly can't see through you, but and bring this hip here. Index finger and thumb connected for Janana Mudra. Mudras are like yoga poses for the hands, connecting our individual spirit with our universal spirit. Maybe eyes open or closed, feeling your breath, letting your breath find its way. Feel that connection of thumb and index finger. And give your undivided attention to feeling connected in some way to the universe. And you could start off small, feeling connected to yourself. And then maybe feel connected to me through the screen. How do you know you're feeling connected? Is it because you hear it? Is it because some words have connected to you on a deeper level today? Know that there is a connection, either through memory, or through the moment, through breath, through sound. And then expand that awareness beyond. You're connected to the room around you. I am certainly connected to this cat who has decided he wants to be petted right now. I'm feeling connected to my exterior space, and to my neighborhood, to the air outside, to the sunshine. Familial connections, friend connections. Let this mudra help remind you that we are never apart. We have deeper, profound connections always. Hands to the heart center. At the Anjali Mudra, holding maybe an intention for yourself. Something that you want to remember from your practice, or you want to carry with you throughout your day in your practice. You can do this throughout the day. Like, oh yeah, I want to remember that. That's where I want my undivided attention to stay. And all that is light and love inside of me is deeply grateful for the light and love that you share from within you. Namaste. I'm Belinda, and this is Mustafa, or Moose. We're with Just Be Yoga, and this has been our home yoga practice live today. Take nuggets of this, and if any of it helps serve you for how to move, ways that you can connect into to what your body needs, for you to connect into what your body can do in ranges, and spend time letting your mind observe your physical body, not being in charge of it. And notice how that union and that trust gets built, and how you can serve yourself off the mat with that connection. Thank you all so much. Please check out others of our playlists, either on Facebook or on YouTube, of our Empower Yoga, Home Yoga Practice, Basics, Chakra Yoga Flow, even our Tai Chi and Qigong. And if it's in your heart or your pocket and you wish to give us a donation, paypal.me/justbeyoga. Thanks so much, everyone. Feel free to hang out for a bit if you want to chit-chat and have community discussion or conversation. I'm always happy to talk. Sorry about that, I kind of blanked out for a moment. So yeah, if you have questions, let me know. Happy to chat a little bit. Who is still here? And good morning. I hope that, I know that it was a little yummy for me. Also, my shoulder's feeling a little bit better. And maybe my shoveling days might be coming to a close. Maybe winter is starting to recede here in Michigan. All right. Well, yoga begins. Yoga quiets our mind. And then we can see more clearly. Deep bow of gratitude to you all. Namaste.